Well, it's been a while since I've gotten a random package from China, and today we have what I think is the Boy Hom R40S, care of J-Lash. Thanks again, J-Lash. I really appreciate when you send me free stuff, even if it looks to be maybe some garbage. We'll see. We'll see. That's what these videos are about. This is the R40S from our buddies at Boy Ham, also known as Game Console, which it's descriptive, I guess. Now, the R40S is obviously a knockoff of the RGB30, which I like. I'm not crazy about it. I really like the RGB30 SX, which is just this in a Game Boy form factor. But this is a pretty decent handheld, and a lot of people really, really like it. I'm actually warming up to the 1:1 screen ratio. So, what can Game Console do? Right now, they're selling this for $70. These are going for about the same price on AliExpress, and you can also get them cheaper on our Discord and our marketplace. Like, these go for 50, 60 bucks all the time. So, it's not cheaper. Maybe it has better build quality than powkiddy, which is always an option. Looks like I'm slated for the Famicom style, and if it looks anything like that, I think we'll be off to a good start. Let's take this out of the box. And, boy, I tell you right off the bat, that's not the same colors. It's not terrible, but it's not the same color. This is a much brighter red versus that darker, almost maroon. What do we have in the box? Anything else? It feels empty. Nope, there's a screen protector, just completely loose, a manual, and a charging cord. Let's do some quick comparisons. Obviously, there's some similarities. The RGB30 is D-pad on top. The R40S has D-pad on the bottom, and the sticks in kind of a diagonal to each other. You're selecting your starter on the bottom versus on top. Let's see. Some minor differences on top. L1 and R1 kind of wrap around more. This R1 doesn't press down. It kind of presses down. Here's R1 on powkiddy. Satisfying. R1 on this. It's kind of stuck on there. L2 and R2 are bigger, which I like. And you have your volume, your reset, your power on top. That's mirrored almost exactly the same down to the HDMI out. On the bottom, pretty much the same. You have OTG and USB-C, and you have your two SD cards and headphone jack on the bottom. These SD cards, are they out? No. Oh, Lord. I don't like that. You see that? See how far they jut out from the bottom? Ew. Like, they're going to get caught on stuff. Don't like that. Outside of the D-pad placement, this is very, very similar to the RGB30. Do I have a screen protector on here? Feels like it. There it is. These ones that are kind of hard, I can never tell if they're supposed to be on there, but it's got bubbles underneath. That's J-Lash's problem when I send it to him, if he even wants it. Let's turn it on. Okay. An LED light, that's a good sign. Hello. Let's do something unprecedented and read the manual. Here's a button I have to press. I got reset. Wait a minute. That's not even right. This has power and volume, and then volume and reset. This is volume over here and reset and power together. The engineering drawing isn't even correct. Let's see here. Indicator. Working is green. Low power is red. Charging is red. What does blue mean? Because that's blue. Let's hold it down for a little bit longer. It's going to be a real short video. Okay, so I plugged it in, and there's no indication that anything's happening. God. Trying the other USB-C port. No. Alright, let's try to power it on while it's plugged in, I guess. Blue? I almost wonder if the SD card isn't in there correctly. So TF operating system. We have a TF card, 16 gigabytes, okay. And then TF card, 64 gigabytes, neat. Put the operating system back in there, that's a sturdy click. God, the reset button's hard to press. I mean, I'm not even getting an indicator that it's charging. The USB-C doesn't even want to go in the port. The build quality on this is terrible. Let's try a different cord. That's the one that... Ugh. What do we got? Okay, so... Now it wants to charge. Okay. This is the same cord I was using before that didn't work. Now it charges. Let's just try to be reasonable and assume that maybe the cord wasn't working earlier. Maybe I just jiggled the wall wart and it works now. But okay, we have this pinkish maroon charging color, so let's try to turn it on now. Nothing. I know they all say that it'll be low battery when you first get them, but I've never had one completely dead before, or one that didn't respond to the power cord at first. I cannot express to you how tight this USB-C is in here. It barely wants to fit. I don't know if the connection itself is bad or what. I'm going to give this a couple minutes to charge and see if I can get it to start again, but not off to a good start at all. If it won't even start, I will unequivocally say, don't buy this. Don't spend $70 on something that's broken out of the box. Good Lord. I mean, the whole point of copying something, in this market at least, is you let everyone else take that R&D cost, whatever it is with powkiddy. I don't know, they probably got a guy in the back with a calculator. But you let someone take the R&D cost, you buy one, you strip it down, and you try to make it for cheaper. Except this is the same price, maybe even more expensive depending on where you're buying it from or if there's a sale, and it doesn't work. Neat. I don't know what blue means. All right, let's leave it plugged in. I'll come back in an hour or so. Okay.
Much later.
All right, so this is already almost certainly in a do not buy situation for me, but after letting it charge for a while with nothing happening at all, I decided to take it apart because Andrew, one of the writers on our website, he got one, and let's take this quality assurance sticker off. That means absolutely nothing. Anyway, Andrew's handheld, the battery wasn't plugged in all the way. Get out of there. Oh, now it's stuck on the glue. Son of a gun. I tell you what, it's always something. J-Lash, I owe you $70 if I break this in half. Okay. Okay, here we go. Well, there go the shoulder buttons. This thing's just falling apart. All right, is the battery plugged in? Yes. Some upside down tape. That's always good. I think I see why the shoulder buttons don't work. There's like no clearance. When you get this sucker slotted in there and press it, well, now it works. This one's okay, but there's real tight tolerances. And this doesn't even want to go back in the right way. Yeah. Is that in frame, Gary? When you push that down, there's nowhere for the actual trigger to go. There's like a 2 or 3 millimeter gap there. And when the back panel's on there, it limits it even more. So these shoulder buttons just are trash. Make sure the battery's really seated in there. Yeah. Yeah. That seems like it's ready to go. Okay. Let's put this crud back on there. I was kind of hoping that the battery wouldn't even be connected. Then I'd have like a reason. But alas. I mean, one perk is that it's very easy to take apart, which you're probably going to have to do a lot of if you end up buying this, because it's kind of... If you are going to get kind of serious into this hobby, I would recommend getting one of these little iFixit kits. They come in all sorts of different sizes. I got this one. It's, I don't know, like 64 different things, but it has the Nintendo screws. So I can take apart old NES and Super Nintendo cartridges and clean the pins and get into the systems themselves. They're not super expensive, and I like them. What is super expensive and I don't like is this. So let's... Alright, so either the battery on this brand new handheld, by the way, either the battery is so stone cold dead that it's going to need to charge overnight, or it's just effed. What did we learn? We learned that, unfortunately, this is the first time ever in Zoo Review's history that I couldn't even get the thing to turn on. I didn't have a ton of hope for it just because of how bad it looks and how poorly manufactured it seems to be. I mean, look, you press B and Y moves. You press A and X moves. This D-pad, it bottoms out and it looks like someone cut the opening out by hand. You can see it a lot more when I actually depress the pad. Just how scuffed that is. Ugh. I'm not impressed, game console slash boy hom. Boy, this is a stinker. Holy God, I got it to work. No one touch anything. I put the SD card. It has an 83% battery. It has 83% battery, and it wasn't turning on. All right, what I did was I put the SD card in the RGB30, turned that on, and the operating system kicked on with the boy hom R40S logo. And then I turned it off, I put it back in here, and now it works. So I guess if you have an RGB30 and you also have an R40S, that's one way to get it to work. 84%. Unbelievable. We're running ArkOS, the April 24th build. That's only, I think, one build old. So you do have kind of a good operating system. You get in here. It doesn't have that god-awful music. That's a plus. Ugh, D-pad is all over the place. Go back outside for a second. I like using these Game Boy Advance Castlevanias for this D-pad test because you press down, and you can rock, and you can see he's just sliding all over the place. Like, there's no precision. And this D-pad feels really bad. It's not sharp like the RK 2023, although it's not super pleasant. It just bottoms out. I don't like it. The analog stick works okay, I guess, for a Switch stick, but not great. Shoulder buttons, since I opened it, I might have cleared away some sort of debris. They seem to be easier to press. So this is a 1x1 screen, and I'm playing Dragon Ball Z Legendary Super Warriors, which is Game Boy Color, which is a 1:1 aspect ratio, but it's obviously not using the whole screen. If we go into menu, it's using the whole screen, so we're going to have to go with settings. I'm going to go to video, scaling. It was set to 4:3. Game Boy game was set to 4:3. Let's try core provided. Let's try 1x1. Yeah, so it looks like core provided is 1:1. So even what this thing is designed for, right? 1:1 aspect ratio. You open up a Game Boy Color game and it's set to 4:3. That's so weird. I'd probably use the analog stick more because this D-pad's just, ugh. If you want this form factor, you want this screen, and you want better ergonomics and better buttons, and I can't believe I'm saying this about powkiddy, but you want better build quality, just get the RGB30. Ugh. Doesn't make any sense. I don't like that I had to disassemble it, put the SD card in a different system that this is obviously cloned from, and then that's the only way to get it to work. You know what? Just for fun, let's quit. Let's shut down properly. Shut down. Quit. Shut down system. And right now, I can't be sure it's going to turn back on and go to the operating system. There's probably a 50-50 chance it's not even going to work. So let's try it. Blue. Hey, it turned back on. I'm actually surprised it turned back on. So I don't know what I did when I put it in the RGB30 to get it to work. Let's do the real what did we learn, not that fake one from before. But the end result's going to be the same. We learned that this is not worth it. I don't know what advantages you would get from this over the original, outside of if you really wanted some of these exclusive color options, like yellow, which powkiddy has, or blue, or black, or purple, which powkiddy has. Does powkiddy have the Famicom? That might be the only exclusive, but powkiddy also has a ton of these. Yeah, they got metal shells, they got all sorts of different pastels and colors, and it's the same price, if not a little bit more expensive depending on where you shop. The build quality is trash. The software it comes with wouldn't start, despite my best efforts, and you can see it was charged, but nothing on the screen. And just there's these little issues, like the D-pad is bad, and there's a weird gap around it, which I hate. These shoulder buttons, they work now better than they did because I disassembled it and then just fiddled with them a little bit. But it's just, There's almost no clearance for them. They're working better now, but I don't get it. I don't get why you would buy this. I don't understand why you wouldn't just buy the RGB30. Or, if you like the vertical form factor, the RGB20 SX. I don't get it. It's not even really set up appropriately. Like, I opened up a Game Boy Color game, and it was on a 4:3 aspect ratio instead of 1:1. So if you're someone that really knows what they're doing, you wouldn't be buying this unless you have a compulsive disorder like Ban. And if you're someone who's brand new to the hobby, you wouldn't know how to change to get the proper aspect ratio. And then again, given the ubiquitousness, that's a word, the ubiquitousness of the RGB30, you're probably significantly more likely to just come across the RGB30 on a TikTok store or AliExpress or Temu or anywhere than you are this weird R40S. I can't recommend it at all. It's just it has significant flaws. It is copying something and not doing as good of a job. It doesn't have any significant advances that I can see over the original, and it costs the same, if not more expensive. So we learned that we don't buy this. We learned that Zoo had to fart around for roughly 45 minutes to get the thing to start. So if you're a masochist, I guess maybe you can get this, but otherwise, steer clear. Don't buy it. I'll put the affiliate link in the description for and giggles, but please don't click on it. What a piece of crap.